This is Concord, and it's Sony's attempt to take on Overwatch, live shooters, Destiny, Call of Duty. Yeah, you're probably wondering what the hell this is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. What I'm going to do in this video is break this down and give you my first impressions. Obviously, I've played an absolute ton of Overwatch, thousands and thousands of hours. I've played a ton of other FPS games as well, and what you're about to see right now will probably convince you that this isn't Overwatch at all. I mean, look at this time to kill. Look at the speed of movement. Now, I do want to explain here that I am playing Itzy. This is my favorite character in the game at the moment because she's got the most mobility. She's insane, right? The way she works is quite simple. You've got movement abilities that move you around, and then your E ability fires this orb, and if it hits an enemy player and then comes back to you, it then buffs your damage, and you do massive amounts of damage. So you kind of want to get that buff activated before you take engagements. It's a nice bit of combo, and you'll see this throughout all of the free runners or the heroes in the game. They've got nice abilities that combo together. Their abilities do feel quite nice to use. It feels very fluid. It feels a lot more fluid than I expected it to feel. But yeah, is it Overwatch? I mean, I guess this is the big question, right? Well, I thought the best place to start would be just showing you this entire game before we get into looking at the other ways you can play the game, look at the other heroes and things like that. So essentially what this is I think it's Destiny, honestly. I think this is Destiny meets Call of Duty with a lot higher time to kill, with some Overwatch abilities kind of sprinkled in. Maybe you could throw in a little bit of Apex movement in, I guess, maybe, because you can slide. You've got all that kind of thing going on. But this is the big question, isn't it? Will this game actually find an audience? We've got a ton, and I mean an absolute ton of games out right now that are vying for everyone's attention. We've got hero shooters out now. Is there enough in this game to pull you away from your hero shooter? Well, I think it's kind of mixed messaging this game has got, because, I mean, you guys can see in this video clip here, I'm genuinely enjoying this. It is actually really sick, right? Look at this movement. I'm taking these 1v1 duels. It feels great. It's so good, right? This is just team deathmatch as well, by the way. So obviously it's just kill the enemy team, and I think it's the first to 30 kills, I want to say, wins. But is there space for this game, right? Can it exist? It feels to me like what they've got here is a very good hero arena shooter with pretty long time to kill that allows for quite a bit of skill expression. There are team comps involved in this. You do have support style characters that can heal. You have tank style characters that can lock down areas. You have sniper characters. You have aerial characters, long range characters, close range characters. You know, there's a lot of different characters in the game. I think they've nailed that diversity. I think they've actually nailed as well the design of these heroes. And again, that's something you could compare with Overwatch. Overwatch has got really strong design language when it comes to their heroes. This game has as well. You'll recognize them straight away. They're really good. And also I guess the level of fidelity on the weapon models and on the characters themselves is insanely high. It really looks like a modern game. You're like, wow, this looks great. But is it 7 years too late? This is going to be the debate with this game, I think. Will it find an audience? Am I having fun playing it? Definitely. This is definitely an enjoyable game. But will it have the staying power? Because this is a game that, well, you need to buy. It's only available on PlayStation and PC. And yeah, once you've paid the box price, I don't know what the monetization system for the game will be, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be your standard. Here's your shop, buy your coins, buy your currency, all of that stuff on the go. And do gamers want to deal with that again? I'm not too sure. But what I will say is this. I think the time to kill in this game sort of, I guess, in the way this game works, I think it's fine. It is a bit refreshing if you come from playing Call of Duty where everything dies super fast. Even Apex, to be honest. I think in Apex Legends you can kill people super fast. In this, it's generally difficult to just erase people from the game instantly. You do have an option to just sort of use some of your abilities, which obviously you can combo together, which again I think is a big strength of the game. You can see there, that is my damage buff. So I've got my damage buff off there on this hero, and then I can do an obscene amount of damage to them because my orb came back to me. And there's all these kind of interactions in the game, which I think are cool. I mean, look at the hero select thing. It's so cool. I mean, the fidelity on that is incredible. And also, the animation quality is incredible as well. And this, again, is what you'll notice when you play this game, or even when you watch footage of the game. You can see this dedication that's gone into this, right? You can see they've really put a ton of effort into the way things look, the way things work. I just think it's really, really strong. Now, it isn't all roses because it's got serious performance issues at the moment. If you're playing on PC, you have to disable your other monitors because the mouse will not stay locked to the window. So you'll actually aim out of the window, and obviously that minimizes the game, and then you die. That doesn't feel great. I'm sure that's an easy fix, though. But beyond that, there are performance problems. I can't speak to the performance on PlayStation, But what I will say on PC is it's nowhere near good enough, and it does need to be fixed, especially if they're trying to go for this sort of, I want to say fast-paced, but I still think this is kind of slow-paced. But this, okay, I don't want to say fast-paced. I want to say smooth, ultra-smooth experience. Because you don't want jitters, you don't want it to lag, you don't want any of that happening because it doesn't feel great. So yeah, I think my initial impressions on the way the game plays, super fun. They've got something that's really, really fun here. I'm just a little bit worried that this might be a little bit too late in the sort of grand scheme of things when it comes to this type of game. But you can definitely see where all of the, I guess the development time has gone, right? It feels super, super polished if we ignore the performance problems. Okay, let's take a look at what the hell is going on in the game. Now, you've got a lot of your usual things here, like player card customization, tons of like hero customization, and I'll show you all of this in this section of the video. So I think firstly, I do kind of want to talk about the aesthetic of the game. I really like this. It feels like a sort of futuristic synth wave kind of thing on the go. I really, really like it. It really sings to me. It's really cool. But I mean, just look at Vale. Look at the detail on Vale. It's just crazy. The detail on the heroes is so incredibly high fidelity. It's honestly, you do a double take when you look at them. They look so realistic. Obviously, if they're an alien, they're not realistic, but you get what I'm saying, right? Okay, so let me just show you all of this. So the first thing we've got is play. So there's different ways you can play the game, obviously, right? So you've got what I've been playing pretty much exclusively, which is the Brawl or the Quick Play or the non-matchmaking version of the game. Now, this has got Takedown, which is just straight-up team deathmatch, and it's got Trophy Hunt, which is basically kill confirmed. This is unavailable at the moment, Takeover, but you can kind of see it says capture and defend objectives from competing rival teams. And then you've got Rivalry. Now, this is kind of like your competitive ranked mode. This has got Cargo Run, which is plant the cargo in a zone, and defend it from rivals. And Clash Point, which is capture the zone or eliminate rivals. Now, these are kind of similar to Overwatch game mode. So Cargo Run is kind of like payload. And this is like King of the Hill, essentially, Clash Point is, which is like, yeah, they're okay. But there's one big problem with this. You don't respawn. It is very weird. It feels very, very weird in a game where they're trying to promote like a ton of ability usage and, you know, a lot of combat happening. You die, you're just dead for the round. It feels dead strange. I don't know. Don't agree with that decision. We'll have to wait and see what they do with it. Anyway, yeah, so those are the modes you can play at the moment, which is fine. You've got this thing called a job board. Now, this is basically your challenges, right? So you've got your daily, weekly, seasonal. I'll just go through them. I'll be honest, a lot of this stuff to me personally now, I'm totally like burnt out on this. It's cool to kind of have it, but am I actually a player to sit here and go through this? I'm not, to be honest. You can see like it's trying to alert me. Look, oh, do a daily thing, or you've done a daily thing, or look, I've done this apparently. Great, I've got 15,000 XP. Yeah, it's just your standard live service game bloat, basically, all this stuff is. Then what we've got is Free Gunners. Now, I think we'll go in and show you this because this shows you all of the customization and it shows you all of the characters available to play. So if we go to customize, this is all of the current characters in the game. I'm not too sure why there's two Lennox. I think this is just a bug. I mean, they're two different guys, right? The one's got two there, the one's got one. I'm not particularly sure what's going on. Well, they're different colors, I should say. Okay, so I guess what we'll do is just go straight in and take a look at this. So this is one-off, and one-off is like a massive vacuum cleaner. It's massively powerful, this thing. It's really hard to kill. It's really big. But you will notice that if I bring up his abilities, look at this. He is an anchor. Now, they do have class and hero types. An anchor is basically an area defense, well, character, as the name implies, anchor. It anchors in an area, and it often gives defensive capabilities to allies, or it protects them from incoming damage. In the case of this guy, basically, Trash Bomb is like he just throws it out and explodes. I guess area denial, but this thing, area barrier, it eats all the projectiles. So if you play Overwatch, it's kind of like D.Va, right? It's like a mobile D.Va defense matrix. And yeah, and it's just kind of cool. So if we won't go and look at his customization because, to be honest, his customization maybe isn't the most exciting. Let's take a look at who have I actually got customization for. In fact, I think this means I've got customization available for them because I've picked up an item. So let's take a look at Haymar. So Haymar is a warden. And what we will do is take a look at the outfit, which apparently I've got a new outfit. Yeah, so it's just a recolor. Which, you know, whatever. Again, it's like standard free-to-play fare. What I will say about this stuff, though, they do have nice animations. So if I click wearable, It's actually quite nice. A lot of this stuff is, and it's all unique for each of the individual heroes. And to me, that is like, it just show a ton of attention to detail. The accessories normally somewhat on the back. Yeah, look really cool. Weapon charm just sort of shows you the weapon model. And it sort of attaches there. Okay, that's fine. You got weapon skin. Again, I don't have any weapon skins, but yeah. Victory pose. Yep. Defeat pose. Apparently, I just don't have a defeat pose. And drop in, which is like the animation at the start of the game when you drop in off your little ship. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, right? So, anyway, while we're on Haymar, we can take a look at her abilities. So, Warden is a little bit of a strange one, right? So, I think Warden is basically utility. At least it kind of feels like that. So, with her, she can use Wall of Fire to sort of block off areas, but also does a ton of damage. And she's got Flashbang. That's essentially what Blinding Flash is. It's not that powerful from what I've experienced. But, yeah, she does have a Flashbang. And obviously, you can see the rest of her abilities there. But you can see what they're trying to do here, right? You've got heroes in different categories. Like, Imari is another anchor. So, she is an absolutely massive, like, shield tank. That's kind of the way to look at her. So, she's like... Can I even compare to Reinhardt? She does have a barrier like Reinhardt, but it's only for personal protection. It doesn't protect the team. But this thing, Armor Generator, is really strong because you can give armor to your team, which is really, really strong. So if you've got additional armor on top of your health, especially if you're playing like one of the heroes I like to play, like Itzy, then yeah, you know, you do actually really benefit from that. So Devirs, this is where it gets interesting. So they are like, they're a breacher. Now, breachers... I think Breachers is designed to break up anchor defensive positions. So if you've got your anchor or you've got a team camping, Breachers can get them out of that camp. So you can see here what they've got is a grenade launcher that you can just yeet in. But also Burning Canister splashes self-igniting Burnite pools across an area. So it's area denial. An Ignition Dart is like whatever. But I think that's what's going on here with that type of character being a Breacher. We'll take a look at the other characters as well. So Starchild's also a breacher. You probably think that this is a tank. It's not. He is a breacher because he charges in. So you can just charge in, slam the ground, disrupt the enemy. You've got a close range shotgun. He does have quite a bit of health as well. He's got diamond skin passive ability as well. So yeah, you know, he sort of fits the way he looks as well, right? He looks like a big guy who's going to run in and do damage. Baz is great. I love Baz. Baz throws knives, hit scan knives that do tons of damage, and has a really strong melee attack. But Baz is a Haunt. Now, a Haunt is the same as Itzy as well. These are basically your fast flanking characters. I guess you're sort of... I don't know. I want to use like a World of Warcraft comparison, like your rogue character, right? Probably not appropriate for an FPS game. I mean, to use FPS comparisons, it would be like your Scout, right, from Team Fortress 2, your Tracer from Overwatch. Yeah, very fast moving or faster moving or better movement than the standard cast, which I must say, or the other types of heroes. If we go back and look at Imari being an anchor moves incredibly slow. And you will see this here. Movement style is just single jump. There's no double jump. There's no dash. There's none of that. It's just, you just jump, but you're really slow. Because, of course, you've got loads of defensive abilities. Itzy, this is my favourite character. So she's just massively fast, got loads of movement. You guys have seen gameplay of her. Again, I think this model is, like, the detail is crazy on the model. That's probably not the best bit to look at. What about wearable? Yeah, weapon model, weapon charm. No, it's oh, okay, maybe this. I don't think you can zoom in, which is kind of annoying. But you can see on the face, like, look at the detail on the face. Like, super high resolution. But yeah, oh yeah, just to show you Itzy's abilities. I guess you guys have already seen them. But Itzy can teleport. Itzy's got the scramble rounds, which silences enemies. And also, when it comes back to you, it gives you extra damage. So you've got that thing going on. Movement style, you can see is double jump. And she's a Haunt. If we look at Rocker. Now, Rocker is interesting. So Rocker's a Haunt, but he's a very easy to play Haunt. But it's kind of like an immobile one in some ways. So Rocker can fly, but also can hover in the air. But Rocker's weapon, it actually locks on. So if you see here, missile lock, aiming down sights will target lock enemies. And so you've got like a soft lock on enemies. So you can do a lot of damage. What I found with Rocker is you basically want to jump up in the air above where people expect you to be, then just hover there with your rockets and blast them as they come through chokes. But again, you can see the movement style, right? Triple jump and air dodge. So a lot more movement than Itzy, but Itzy can teleport. So, yeah. the Duchess, I mean, she's like May, right? She can deploy walls everywhere. But the thing with the walls are, your team can walk through them. The enemy team cannot, and you can just keep deploying them. And it's actually kind of mental. It's like really crazy. But this is a ranger. Now, this is where it gets a little bit weird, because I'm like, a ranger and a warden, they just seem like interchangeable to me. Like, they're basically hero types with utility. And the utility that the Duchess brings to the game is she drops a massive wall in your face, which is basically it. This Ruinous Blast is okay, but essentially it's the wall, because you're just blocking the enemy all over the place, but your team can still move through them. So she's okay. Jabali, now this is where things start turning into healers. So Jabali is a healer. I think he's also a warden as well. No, he's a ranger. So again, ranger. But you can see this, right? Life Pulse. This is an ability that you throw, and it attaches to either yourself. Well, you basically throw it on the ground. You can pick it up, or you can throw it at an enemy, or an ally player, sorry, not an enemy. And it attaches to them and creates an area around them where they get healed. Very, very strong, especially when you couple him with any of the anchor heroes, because you'll just never die. And he also has an offensive version of his orb. But basically, you know, you're just going for the healing, right, with this guy. And also he's got like a slight aim lock as well, or aim bar, I guess, on his weapon. And his movement style, he does have triple jump though. So yeah, so there are healers in the game. There's damage dealers and there's tanks, right? Tio is, I think Tio's a warden, right? No, Tio's a ranger, but Tio just does a ton of damage. So he's got a grenade, this cluster grenade, that I think is broke at the moment. If it hits you, you just die. It just instantly kills you. It's crazy. It does a massive amount of damage. He's got dual weapons, which is fine. He has smoke as well. I guess that's why he's well, here's the thing, right? You think he'd be a warden if warden is about utility. I don't know, but he's a ranger anyway. He's got smoke grenade, and he can see through the smoke grenade when he's aiming down sight. So if he pops ADS, he can see straight through the smoke, and it's obviously quite good. But yeah, he's okay. I mean, he's more than okay, actually. Does a lot of damage. Now, Door, this is another support healer. Now, the way he works is he's got a healing pad, but it basically creates a health healing spawn station. Like, these are around the map. So again, to use Overwatch as the example, you've got the health packs everywhere. This guy can basically create his own health pack, throw it on the floor, and your allies can use it, which is pretty good. He's also got a Winston-style shield, which you can put down, creates a big dome, but it blocks all projectiles, even allies' projectiles. And his passive is when he dodges, he gets a bit of a heal, so he can self-heal himself. So he's actually very tanky, but again, yeah, and he's a tactician, you see, so more about team buffs, I think tactician is, than anything else. Then we move on to Kips. Now, Kips is your spy. Kips can go invisible. Not for very long, though. When you dodge, you then go invisible. It's quite cool to play, but I don't think Kips does too much damage. Again, it's a tactician. So Kips is the surveillance trap, which is like, it just alerts you to where enemy players are on the minimap. You can pick this up as well, and it'll give you charges back to use abilities again. And Disruption Grenade disrupts enemy abilities and damages shields. And yeah, the active stealth is basically what you're looking for here, which I think makes the character a bit unique. It is also to be said as well, with the characters in the game, the way their abilities work is totally different. It's not like blanket, everything's on a cooldown. Some abilities, like just to use Tio as an example, Tio's smoke grenade, he's got 2 of those and that's it. And then he needs to kill enemy players to get charges back for smoke grenade. So it's not like you can just keep throwing smoke grenade out. And it's different for all of the heroes as well in the game. Lark is... so Lark is a strange one. Lark's ability is... well, primary fire. It basically detonates. It's like a flak cannon, but it detonates and then the flak locks onto targets. I don't like Lark because Lark destroys me when I'm playing Itzy. Apart from that, Lark drops down pods all over the floor, which will damage allies, but damage enemies, sorry. And for allies, it will give you like a small buff. And they can also respawn as well, using the transplant pod. And what classification are they? They're a tactician as well. Again, I think it's because they're bringing buffs to the team. So if you're a buffer, I guess you're a tactician. Haymar is, as we looked at Haymar before, but a warden with the flashbang and all of that stuff. So yeah, we'll just crack on from Haymar. Now, Lennox, this is like, I think he's the face of the game, or at least he's on a lot of the box art, along with Starchild as well. And I think Haymar's on the stuff as well. He's a weird one. He's like a Cassidy with 2 guns. And the way he works is you use his primary weapon, and then when you go to pull out your secondary weapon to use that, which is more of like a rapid-fire, close-range pistol, And then when you pull out your primary again, your primary's reloaded. So you just juggle between the pistols. But the primary's better for longer range. But yeah, he is a warden. He's got an exploding knife, which just explodes when he throws it at you. He can heal himself as well. So he's got like a self-heal he can pop if he's took too much damage. Again, you can see his weapons, right? So he's got the bell ringer, heavy handgun, range damage. And then he's got the Model 3 revolver, which is just close range, fast fire. Yeah, he's okay, right? If anything, I think he's kind of the most boring hero in the game, which is quite funny because he's the face of the game, right? And then finally, we've got Vale. Now, Vale is actually broke at the moment in the beta. Vale's scope doesn't work. It's like off-center, which is really strange. But Vale is the sniper hero. So it wouldn't be a team-based hero shooter without a sniper. Again, classified as a warden, sorry. And just as like a trip mine. So think of Widowmaker's Widow Mine, but you get 3 of these instead of 1. Leap, you can just jump higher in the air. So instead of having the grappling hook, you can just jump higher. And yeah, you got a sniper rifle. There's not much more to say about that, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums up the heroes in the game. Or the free runners, whatever they call them. I think it is varied. I think there's a ton. Even for the launch of the game. And I do think they all look pretty unique as well. All right, let's jump back. So you've got this crew builder thing. So the crew builder, you can basically build your... Well, you can read it, right? You can build your roster of 12 free gunners, take them into battle. They all have different buffs and they work together in different ways and blah, 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 blah. You know, to be honest, I haven't really touched too much of this in it at the moment because we've just got classic crew available. So I'm not really too fussed about this. Something that's going to be a bit more interesting as the game develops, I think. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess the only thing we can look at is we can look at the card, the business card, which is just like your calling card, right? So you can change your icon, like, okay, I've unlocked this. Again, you've got your background. I don't know. Let's stick that in. Sidebar. Ugh. I'll change a bit of the side of my business card. Let's have universal flavor. And yeah, I've killed 133 people. Let's keep that on there. And what's slot 2? Oh, I can press R to change slots. Damage dealt. There we go. So, yeah, honestly, guys, this game, it's much better than I expected, right? I didn't think it would be like it was. I thought this was going to be... I don't know what I thought it was going to be, actually. I'm just a bit worried that I don't think... I'm not... Like... I'm not sure this game can exist now. You know what I mean? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments below. But I think to answer the question of the video, is this an Overwatch killer? It's not Overwatch at all. Is it a Destiny killer? I mean, no. Sony also owned Destiny anyway. Is it a Call of Duty killer? No. But what is it trying to do, I think, is forge its own way by taking COD, taking Overwatch, taking Destiny, smashing them together and producing this. And I think the strongest thing they've got going for them is just the visual, like the fidelity in the game is crazy. It really, truly does look like a modern game. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that breaks the game down in a ton of detail. And yeah, if it did, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you soon.